Judy Smith is regarded as America's foremost crisis management expert. She honed her skills managing some of the most historic and sensational events of our time, including the 1991 Gulf War, the UN and WHO's responses to the SARS epidemic, the congressional hearing on Enron, and most recently, the cyber attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment. In 1991, Smith served as Special Assistant and Deputy Press Secretary to President George H.W. Bush. While there, she earned a reputation for being straightforward, honest, and hardworking. She provided the President and Cabinet with communication advice on a wide range of domestic and international issues. She was reportedly instrumental in guiding the Bush administration through controversies, including the nomination of Clarence Thomas to the Supreme Court. She is the author of Good Self, Bad Self, Transforming Your Worst Qualities into Your Biggest Assets. She received various communications and leadership awards and is active in community service. Judy Smith is speaking today on the topic, Leading Through Crisis, What Every Leader Should Know. Please welcome with a warm applause to the platform and to Nigeria, Judy Smith.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a favorite? We're on this side, we're in the corner, okay.
Good morning, everyone. Mike? Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So, Judy's session is a little bit different. It's going to be an interview session with her, and I'll be asking her some questions, and then once we're done with this, we're going to throw out the questions to the audience, and then you can ask her questions yourself. So do you want to do like a quick intro to everyone?
Sure. Yeah, oh, about myself? Yeah, sure. Well, look, first of all, let me say thank you so much for having me here. I can't tell you that it's such an honor and a privilege. The other day we were talking yesterday about success and my background and how I got here, and the kinds of things that were really important to me. And what I said was, what was really important and what has given me a good foundation really were my parents. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and really, it was 5 of us, and we, didn't have a lot of money. And my mom worked 3 jobs. She was a typist during the day, and then at night, she used to take me to clean office buildings and bathrooms in particular. And I remember one day she asked me to go help her, and I of course said, well, why do I have to do that? Everybody else doesn't have to do that. Needless to say, that was the last time I ever said that to my mom, for sure. That was it. And then my dad drove a truck during the day, and then at night, I'm not sure what you call him here, but he drove a taxi, a cab. And anybody that ever gets me in a cab, they are the luckiest person ever, because I am the best tipper. And that's really how all 5 of us got to school. I remember my brother told me this when I was growing up. We used to have like these wonderful candlelight dinners, right? And I'm thinking, oh, that's so nice. The family, we're all sitting around having dinner. And my brother told me, I guess maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, he said it wasn't anything cozy or romantic about that. He said that was because we didn't have money to pay the electric bill. I said, oh God, how come I didn't know that? And, I say that all to say that I think that sometimes in our lives we think that things are not possible. And we are down and we don't know how we are going to get where we want to get. It is possible. It is possible. I mean, I work during the day 2 jobs, and that's how I got through law school. So it took me longer than other folks, but yeah, but I did it. Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, Judy Smith is like the real-life Olivia Pope. For those who watch The Scandal, she's American. Clap for her. This is Olivia Pope sitting right here. She's the inspiration beside the story, and I'm sure that many people who watch Scandal have a particular question. I would ask that question, but not now. So as we go on, how did crisis management come to be? Why did you decide to become a crisis management expert?
Yeah, I don't think I actually decided it. I think that it decided for me. It found me. I mean, honestly, I have always loved crisis. Crisis seem to follow me. They do. It's like, really, you should stay away from me after this. But it really, I tell you a quick story. I wrote a book, and the editor called me up and they said, look, you need to put in the book how you got started on crisis. And I'm thinking, oh God, it's due tomorrow. I said, I don't remember that. And so my girlfriend had called me, Michelle, and I've known Michelle since I was 2 years old, right? And Michelle said, you want to go out for drinks? I said, no. I said, the editor just called me. It's a lot of pressure. I got to write how I got involved in crisis. So it's a wonderful thing about someone that you've known for that long, because they can just speak the truth to you. And she said, oh, if that's all that's holding us between going out for drinks, I can tell you that. And she said, it started when you were 7 years old. She said, in the back alley, there was this major dodgeball fight that you had nothing to do with. You came out and said, let's all talk about it. Let's resolve it. I said, I did? She said, yes. And she said, and let me remind you that when you were, I think it was 11 or 12, I got the whole neighborhood punished. I said, how did I do that? The playground up the street from us, where we used to go to after-school programs, they were closing down, right? And we were thinking, what are we going to do when we get out of school? We're not going to be able to go anywhere and play. So I got all the kids in the neighborhood, as Michelle tells me this, to organize, and we saved our money. And so from the money, we bought little cardboard and markers, and we made signs that said, help us, we need money for our playground. And I said, well, who's going to give us the money? So I figured it out. We all snuck on the bus, and we went down in front of what would be City Hall, and we all marched around and said, we need money for our playground. And then a camera was there. And so Michelle reminded me, like, who do you know at 11 or 12 has their own press conference? Who does that? And everybody gets punished for it. So I think it found me. People often say this, that you need to find your passion in life. That always kind of drives me crazy, because I always want to say, like, how do you do that? How do you find your passion? And so for me, really thinking about the kinds of things that I love helped me find that, I think. Yeah.
And you've worked with many big names. I mean, you were the press secretary to President George H.W. Bush, and you've worked with big corporations, individuals. How do you get leaders to listen to you, especially when they think, who is she, what does she know, where is she coming from? How do you get people to actually listen to the advice that you give to them?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, look, when people reach out, they are usually in a crisis, for sure. And oftentimes, part of handling a crisis is giving good sound advice, and as you say, getting people to listen. And it's really, really hard. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. I'll give you an example. As you said, I was working for the president. And so I think we were in Japan, and it was for a big dinner, for a visit. And the president on the way down was really excited, right? Because I think he had a bet with the prime minister, the president of Japan. and they bet about tennis. And we were all sitting around, we told the president, he said, well, we don't think you should play tennis today. You're looking like you're coming down with something. He said, I am feeling sick, but I bet money on him. I think I can take him. I'm going to take him down. I can beat him at tennis. We said, no, you shouldn't play. We think you're sick. And I said, really, I don't think the money is that important. He said, no, he thinks that he can beat me at tennis. I'm going to beat him. And so lo and behold, he goes out. President's feeling pretty good because he thinks he can take the president of Japan. And so he goes to play tennis with him. He beats him. He collects his money from the president, and he's feeling really good. He's coming back to everybody saying, I told y'all were wrong. I got my money. He showed us the money in his pocket. So an hour or so later, we're at a dinner, very fancy state dinner. You've got the President of the United States, their delegation, you know, Japan's leadership, and everybody's sitting down, President's eating, and we're looking over, and he's looking just a little peaked. He's eating. He threw up on the President of Japan. And we said, we told you not to go play tennis. Not to go. He said, well, you told me to bond with him. I said, we didn't tell you to throw up on the man. But sometimes, no matter how powerful you are, leaders don't listen. And sometimes, just, you know, we probably hear, I'm sure we all have kids, or some of us do, is that, you know, sometimes people have to learn by example, sometimes. Yeah.